Nana, do you take the same view of the GJA statement and the way we seem to have all come down? Let's listen to Audrey Gadjepo first, Professor Audrey Gadjepo, who spoke about this, and in terms that the GJA should be very angry about.
I was really surprised and depressed when I read it, because you only have to read between the lines to see where the GJA was coming from. The timing was very curious, and it suggested to me that the association itself, not individual journalists, had fallen victim to corporate capture. What it means is that instead of defending the interests of its members, its first statement is to defend the interests of big business. So I think the GJA ought to examine itself on those who lead the GJA. And that you have leaders who are not strong enough to defend you, you're going to have problems.
So that's Professor Audrey Gadjepo. Yes, Nana.
Well, something I am
wrong to question your members.
I am surprised that the GJA at this point in time will put up such a statement. I can't understand the motivation, because the statement is so needless, and it opens the GJA, well, the executives, it opens them up to great suspicion that they are pandering to the whims of some private operator. It's so needless.
Multitude of suspicions cannot constitute proof of anything. That's what the Supreme Court says.
Well, we haven't laid in, but I'm saying it opens them up to that suspicion. Because what is the basis of this statement? Has some journalist gone and made accusations that cannot be sustained? What we are having now, recently, is this Manasseh Joy FM investigation into this fumigation and refuse bins matter. That's what we have. And so this statement coming at this time, when these investigations have not made any direct accusations against anybody. So it's extremely strange for the GJA to issue such a statement at this time.
Have the investigation really not made direct accusations at anybody?
Sorry?
Have the investigations not made direct accusations at anybody?
Well, the ones that I have heard, you have put out the results of your investigations. The fact that there are so many companies all belonging to the same mother group, the fact that there are multiple contracts, the fact that there is pre-existing. These are facts that you've put out.
The fact that you have checked the price of something that has been offered and you have come to say this is overpriced.
Yes, and you've laid a basis for it, that this was the price here and there at this time. So how can it be different?
Yes, and you say that a minister, on the day that they are being awarded the contract, on that same day, when they are being awarded the contract and they are being told that they have 8 days or so, or 28 days to accept, a minister writes to say work has already started and pay now.
Yeah. Is that factual?
Yeah, that's what you produce the letter.
Yeah, is that factual? If it's factual,
what is that supposed to tell the audience?
No. What the audience is interested in, and what all of us sitting around this table are interested in, is the facts. So if the journalist is saying that the minister wrote to demand money at this time, is it true or not? That's all. That's what we should be interested in. Okay. So I'm saying that I thought that the statement from GJA should be commending itself. That should be commending journalists for the work that you are doing in terms of holding public officials to account. And you see, this Samuel Kujato talked something about corruption, whether it's NDC or it's NPP, affects all of us politicians. Affects all of us. The queues that you see in our houses and in our doors is because people imagine that if Samuel Kujato is supposed to have 5 fuel stations, then I am also supposed to have 4. Yeah. Yes.
No, you're 20. No, yours must be 20. Okay. Because you.
So, that's why the press is called the fourth estate, and you are supposed to hold the public officials accountable.
You are the fourth. You are not the first.
You see,
there's a first, there's a second,
so,
there's a third.
So,
the fourth.
so if the media is engaged
in
investigations that would further the aims of transparency and accountability, I thought that the media should be congratulating itself, not rather seeking to make insinuations about the work of his own members. I don't understand it.
Yes, sir, something quickly.
Will it be that this is a case of the GJA really inviting this upon itself because of poor timing? Because if you look at the statement, they try to be balanced in my view. The first paragraph says, the Ghana Journalists Association has been following with keen interest developments on the media landscape relative to investigations into alleged high-profile cases of malfeasance and financial loss to the state. We wholeheartedly applaud the courageous manner with which some of these cases are pursued in fulfillment of the media's constitutional obligation to hold to account people in positions of power and responsibility. If you fast forward to paragraphs 4, investigative journalism in general and anti-corruption crusade in particular are fraught with risks and threats. Much as we encourage journalists at the center of such crusades not to be deterred by the challenges, we expect them to be strictly guided by ethical values and especially the GJA Code of Ethics. It is the adherence to ethical principles which shall serve as a shield to the investigative journalist and provide a canopy of credibility to his or her work. That is why the GJA has always advised against the trial of people in the media, as it has serious implications for media freedom and responsible journalism, but to rather focus on the principles of fairness, balance, and accuracy in their reportage. Signed, Alpha Money.
Who has
breached anything?
I see this as a fair statement.
Who has breached the assumption, first of all, to suggest that when you say, oh, that the trial, but be cautious about trial by media, a smear campaign, then you are insinuating that there's actually something going on,
and it's in paragraph 3,
and
which
therefore you are raising.
Is it possible? Is it possible? Is it possible that the GJA's concern has nothing to do per se with Manasseh's work, but with how his work is reported on other platforms? We all know that in this country, some of the standards that are exhibited. So the statements about journalists generally and how these matters are pursued in the media, trial by media, and all of that. Is it possible?
I wouldn't want to assume, but also knowing what has gone in the background in terms of other publication and how this DJ statement emerged, I would say no, it was directly targeted.
Okay. Well, you may have some information behind the scenes that I do not have. But but I say that on the face of this statement is the GJ cautioning all of us to be fair, to be conscious about people's personal reputations and all of that. And let's remember, this is the same GJ that awarded a young man, Manasseh, who we are all proud of, as the GJ Journalist of the Year. I don't know when the GJ really took issues with Manasseh or had something against Manasseh. But let me say that the other concerns are also legitimate. That let it not be that the GJA is stifling an investigative journalist and limiting the frontiers. That is not good for the image of the GJA. Perhaps this statement will best have come from the Association of Ghana Industries, AGIA, because they are concerned also about how businesses should be protected and all of that. And maybe next time the GJA should be concerned about timing, how this could play out in terms of people's perception, and then secondly, another methodology, which could be that you can engage the journalists behind the scenes at a workshop. You call a meeting. These are your members, and don't probably put out these statements that can be open.
The GJA should encourage the people who are accused to speak out,
calling them privately to assist them. The Media Foundation for West Africa has been doing that, actually bringing ANAS, and bringing investigative journalists together and getting them to learn the tricks and how to avoid,
so you build capacity behind the scenes.
for your members?
Professor Odregajepo says that the GJA has become a victim of corporate capture. If it can't help its members, it should not hurt them. We'll take a break here. When we return, free SHS. I say smooth starts, but how smoothly? We'll be right back.